it's the opposite of slavery, of being trapped is liberation. Freedom is there all the time. If you look at Nelson Mandela in prison, he's realized more about freedom and became more free in prison than many, many of his colleagues who were not in prison. So freedom has no opposite, it's always here. It's powerfully always part of how it feels to be here in whatever form, physical, not physical. Freedom is so strong, it's even beyond peace and love. We have the freedom to move strongly and dissolve in peace, and we have the freedom to allow love, or any blend of the two. So the freedom is behind. So one of the first early stages where freedom gets lost, not lost, but the connection is broken down. One of the first layers of form is in the split into either male or either female. In physical terms, this is really clear. Physical, factual terms, there's a new child conceived, and the very first question which comes forward over its undeveloped little body is it a boy or a girl? Is it male or female? This is determining so much of what will happen, where it's positioned in the whole area of form and manifestation. But even behind that, the male and female aspects, we can take the loaded terms of male and female out of it and look at it much more as physics and the active, manifesting, assertive aspect of the universe, and the receptive, allowing movement, the push and the pull. The expression and the reception. The doing and the undoing. The talking and the listening. Within this dynamic, there is this background. Let's take the area of sound, of talking. There is a background of silence out of which all talking or thinking emerges. It comes out of somewhere. It's born from somewhere. It has soil which it arises out of. Silence. There's also a background of silence in which listening happens, where the expression of something is received in. So that's just in the level of sound. In terms of movement, you can see that the push and the pull is not possible at all without the stillness of no push, no pull. The stillness behind the polarity of, or the circulation of push and pull, this whole dynamic. The stillness at the center is what allows it, otherwise it would have no dance. No creation, no manifestation, nothing happening. In terms of practical, psychological living experience, we very early on, because we are born either as a male or a female, identify with this structure as if it was far more absolute than it actually is. We identify with it as a form of restraint. It defines where we are limited. We fill in all the gaps between experience where probably in those gaps we're not male or female, with a big kind of label, woman. But actually in terms of how we feel ourselves to be, it's not male or female. How often do we check in, how often do we really check in on the body and say, this is a female body? And it's a really interesting contemplation inside where this definition of male or female ends. Where are we, how often are we in our general experience of being here? How often are we simply not in that polarity? We're simply not there. We're not male or female. We just are. We're just here. Not this and not that. In our sleep, we just are. In joy, we just are. In our minds, in pure thinking or pure silence, we just are. It's not male or female, it's behind both. At the same time, there is no male without female, there is no push without pull. So, in many ways, we're both at once all the time. It's always a blend. Where every movement of touching is a blend of push and pull. If we move fast or if we move slowly, it's all attuning, harmonizing to something beyond itself. So it's almost a cliche to say we have the male and female within ourselves. And in big, broad brushstrokes we do. We have a male represented by, psychologically, by our fathers and forefathers, with all its sexual load, specific to the generations and to this lifetime psychologically, within us alive, which we draw on all the time, regardless of whether the mind, as females, regardless of what the mind is doing and as males. And we have a female, psychologically alive inside ourselves, based on our mothers and grandmothers, with all of its wounds, woundedness, or strengths inside ourselves, regardless of whether we're male or female. We also have, from the heart of our being, an ideal male aspect. How we would be if we were the other sex. How you would be as a male. What is your ideal male as a female? And your ideal female as a female, because often it's not what we are. And the same for males. We have both the ideals. The man has his ideal woman also inside himself, which is free of the mother and grandmothers and all the kind of identifications with male or female given. We have it inside all the time, trying to find a blend and a harmony. A marriage process, a relationship process going on inside ourselves between the male and female aspects. The harmony is always there on the level of love, this blend of love. Where there's disharmony, we suffer. We can suffer a tremendous sense of lack. The more we do stuff, manifest, active, the more the sense of being unfed, unseen, of being impoverished, this bottomless pit of need can come forward. And the more we allow and accept and take in and sponge the emotions of the world inside ourselves, the more we can feel incredibly loaded and too full, too almost burnt out with too much inside ourselves crowding all this, like no space. This harmony is critical to well-being, and it's not that hard. It comes from the space behind all polarity, which is on every level there all the time, which is the stillness, or the silence, or the emptiness. It's not a place we go to because it's always there. It's what allows the whole dance between male and female in the first place. It's just a question of where we are identifying with our minds, where we're choosing for the third point beyond, so that male and female is just a relative passing configuration, and where we're attaching with our feelings. So on the level of feeling it's more complicated because for example, a great pain of rejection can come forward and we attach to the pain. We're actually attracted to the pain for a good reason. Because there's something to be learned and evolved through the whole area of qualities, for example. But that whole process is possible to do while all the time sitting in the third point of stillness. The place beyond what you do and what you take and what you give and what you get, and what's seeing and what's seen. With rejection, it's really about seeing the other and being seen. And this is an impossible dance until there's the chance to stand behind that and to allow yourself to be also seen and also seen, and it becomes one. There's just an openness. So the master key to gender liberation is the liberation of this boxes that we hold ourselves in unnecessary states of suffering, and in that don't get to the real service of learning, which is in the deeper pain, is freedom. We need freedom for that. Freedom is the space which is in total given, which means that no matter what form we're in, or whatever's happening, or being done to us, or whatever we're doing, we are at the same time totally and absolutely and unconditionally free. This freedom is the ticket to moving beyond the polarity. Some people need to come to a position of such kind of suffering and loss or conflict that they have nothing left to lose, and then this freedom awakens from the nothing left to lose. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, screwed, whatever, condemned forever, freedom comes forward out of despair, because you simply disinvest, you're no longer attached. Freedom, it's like a shock. So, this meditation is about moving beyond polarity and through opening the power of freedom, allowing freedom. Rationally, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't allow freedom in a meditation, because we can get all our chains and boxes and prison cells back the moment we leave. You know, they're easily available to pick up again. It doesn't cause any damage, it doesn't destroy anybody, it's not destructive, it's not anarchistic, it's not violent, and it's simply always there anyway. We are robbing ourselves of what we are, in a sense, of of what we anyway are. When there's freedom, being a female, even in the worst form of female, even being a banished woman, a witch, who's a sexual threat to the whole community, who deserves to be punished and condemned and stoned to death, even with freedom, even this has a purpose. And there is a flexibility within it. Nobody can ever take this freedom away. And we can't get rid of it either. We can't take it away from ourselves. They can kill you, but they can't take this away. Nobody. Not our mothers, not our fathers. Not the media. Not Facebook. So the meditation, begin at the left shoulder point, move to the right shoulder point. Just, it doesn't have to be a point, but just the whole area. You might feel yourself drawn into a point here and here. And down to the right hip bone point. Point around the area of the hips, across to the left hip bone point, up again to the left shoulder point. Then we move from the left shoulder point to the right hip bone point. Right hip bone point, left hip bone point, left hip bone point, right shoulder point. We're making two triangles. One like this and one like this. And we start moving like that. In a cross. Like an egg timer. Yes. Then we have two triangles touching. We've basically constructed two triangles. We take darkness, like night, infinite darkness. It doesn't have to be black dark, not at all, because darkness is hardly ever black, black, black. It's always a shade of black, like a night sky, infinite night sky, and we fill the upper triangle with this. And then wait for a while. And then we take a soft light of dawn, morning light, like light but not strong, 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 soft, soft, soft light, and fill the bottom triangle. And wait. Then, this is getting on a bit, 20 minutes, 25 minutes in. Connect to the center point of the structure and take a line, any line at all, to one of the points. From any one of those points, make a circle around, which includes all the points, and start to circulate, but circulating from the left to the right. And it can also move, spiral. It can be experienced as a spiraling circle from behind and through. And with the music, touch the point between the eyebrows, the Anya point, point of silence, and move up to the ivy.